May profits be upon you. Welcome to another weekly Forex forecast. You're trading with RT Money, and I am very happy to see you. I appreciate that you came to land on my video, and I'm hoping that you like it. If you do find yourself liking this video at the end of if you stay, especially if you stay to the end of the video, hey, leave a like, leave a comment, all right, and subscribe, all right, and that's all I ask is if you appreciate this, is how you show you appreciate it by leaving a like and leaving a comment and subscribing, and I appreciate that. All right, we're gonna go right into this. This is where in this video we're gonna cover the U.S. dollar index. We're gonna cover Euro USD, Pound USD, Aussie dollar USD, New Zealand dollar USD, the, the Canadian dollar, the Swiss franc, and the Japanese yen. I already went over the news in the previous video. Make sure you click the link that I'm going to leave in the comment section and below this video. Uh, 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 I went over the economic calendar heading up Wednesday. We are going to have FOMC. You want to be very careful. There's going to be some potential volatility entering into the market for that day. We don't know if it's going to be a 25 basis point interest rate hike or a 50 basis point hike by the Fed. We're going to find out. The Japanese yen also is going to have an interest rate decision coming Thursday Thursday, and they'll have a meeting about it on Friday. Uh, uh, they're waiting on the results of the decision by the Fed here in the U.S. so they can kind of counterbalance what's going on over here. With they can, we'll see. We'll see if this is going to be a bearish catalyst for the U.S. dollar. Now, speaking of the US dollar, we're looking at the weekly, right? And you can see it's a very weak market. Week after week, it's been bearish, all right? And for the last 2 weeks, the last 3 weeks, it's been kind of sideways, right? But what can extract from this market is that we took out that very important low. There is sell side liquidity below that low. That's why we came down here. All right. And you would expect after a low is taken that price would pull back. Well, we did have a pullback, but it's a rather shallow one, isn't it? We had one candle. It did leave a bearish fair value gap. Price did go up into that bearish fair value gap. And you would think that that would push price down further. But what it did was it just kind of went nowhere. It went sideways, and you can expect that up until Wednesday, like I'm repeating. All right, you can expect that up till Wednesday when the Fed comes up with a decision. We're going to find out what it's going to do. All right, but if we take a closer look on the daily, all right, there is that weekly fair value gap that I'm going to make transparent right now. Boom. All right, and you just have to see that price is respecting that bearish fair value gap on a weekly basis, right? Punched up, came down, punched back up, came back down. All right. Are we going to take out this low? Well, there are signs that we are, because price um, didn't respect that fair value, that bullish fair value gap there. It didn't go higher. It didn't make a new high. And that makes this low weak. Why? Because it didn't make a new high. It just went up, uh, kind of created relative equal highs, and then came back down. We're down into this big old wick down here. And uh, when I see price test the middle of that wick, like you see here, that this is like the last line of defense here. Okay, so what I'm looking for, you're doing this to me again. All right, what I'm looking for is price to either break this point, break this low that it created here, and take out these relative equal lows here and continue down further. Why? Because I believe this low is now vulnerable. All right, but that's a good ways away. For now, the draw on liquidity is here, in my opinion. And we have a bearish catalyst in a potential bearish catalyst in the FOMC coming. So we can see a nice push down. Now, what I want to take a closer look at is the 4-hour time frame. You can see a bearish fair value gap here, right? And another one right below that one here. All right. And prices pushed up, pushed down. If we come back up here, then that's what I'm looking for next week. Maybe Monday, Tuesday, we come back to that fair value gap and then head towards these lows and this low. All right. This will be the immediate uh, uh, draw on liquidity, in my opinion. All right. That one here at 100, 80, 80, 80, 88. All right. And then down to this swing low. This is the more important target. All right. If we go to the euro, uh, go to the daily. All right. If we go to the daily, you can see we've been making higher highs and higher lows. We peaked above. This is a strong market. And what it's just looking bullish. All right. And after this swing low was made, this high, this swing low, and then these highs. All right, price came right back down to this order block here. All right, I believe this order block is was respected. All right, even you see the little fair value gap here. All right, it was respected, and you see the push on Thursday and then Friday resulted in this doji, but we don't have a bearish fair value gap up here to stop price from going higher. All right, this bearish fair value gap was already tested with this high. So I am looking at price to hit this small bullish fair value gap here. And we're going to see if that one holds price. We'll find out early Monday or Tuesday. All right. Again, this is the majors, and I don't expect a whole lot of activity up until the FOMC. Okay. Let me see. I don't know why it's doing that. All right, but this is the order block here, and I'm looking for price to find higher prices from this fair value gap. That's the potential here. There was a bearish fair value gap that we closed above right here and here, right? So I'm looking for price to even invert the bearish fair value gap into a bullish support here and seek higher prices. We'll see how the news affects that. All right. If we go to the pound, all right, you see I have some things already written here. That's because you can see the higher lows moving similarly to the euro, and we created a bullish fair value gap on the weekly. All right, and that's something I just like to see. And you can see on the daily. All right, I'm gonna change this one into a weekly fair value gap so we can see through it. And you can see these bullish fair value gaps all up in here. Price came back into those fair value gaps, into the middle, the consummate encroachment of the weekly fair value gap, and we found support here, and price is pushing upward. All right, now, if you remember on the, let's move this. All right, we don't need to get into that. All right, if you remember on the euro, we had a bullish fair value gap that was developed here. There's a ever so slight one there, but I'm looking for prices to go higher from here. And we could come down to this area here where we can find price come into it and then continue higher. All right. Again, remember, we are in a weekly bullish fair value gap. So I am looking for prices to go higher from here. Yes, I am. Okay. And I would be looking for this as my uh, uh, draw on liquidity. Did I give you a draw on liquidity? No, I didn't. I didn't give you a draw on liquidity on the euro. So those are my immediate targets. All right. Of course, the the swing high is the longer term target. Okay. I always look at those swing highs, but this is the immediate one. Okay. All right. If we go to the Aussie, we're going down to the weekly. All right. You can see the Aussie is sideways. It's not, doesn't really look like it's pushing, right? Doesn't look, we can see it. We are trapped in this area here. All right. Got some consolidation going on. However, all right, last you can see in August, all right, we got this. We got 1, 2, 3. I love to see that. All right, this is a very bullish candle. All right, followed by an expansion here and an expansion there. Right, we like to see price expand. Right, we like to see bullish fair value gaps created. This tells us that the order flow is very bullish. Okay, and price comes back to that bullish fair value gap to test it in order to go higher. Okay, I got the wrong one. I'm sorry. Got in order to go higher, and looks like that's exactly what it's trying to do, right? Doesn't it? All right. We have a very bullish reaction at the top of this weekly for fair value gap, even though it was kind of stunted here by the bearish fair value gap on the weekly. If we go down to the daily, let me change this to a weekly, and we can move this on over. All right. All right. What do we got that says that price is going to go higher? One, we may have a bearish catalyst for the US dollar. Two, what is the structure saying? If price breaks through this bearish weekly fair value gap, and I think there's a good chance that it might, right? Because you can see that this fair value gap on that not the weekly. Let me get rid of that weekly because it's going to throw you off. There was a small bearish fair value gap here, all right, and price already tested through it. I'm thinking that because we're way up into this bearish order block here, that's what this is. All right, we got a bearish for order block there. Let me see, boom, right. Got a bearish for order block here, and you see price reacting to it, but it created a bullish daily fair value gap. So I like that. All right, and I'm looking for price to go higher. This is sitting on top of the weekly fair value gap, right? So I think we have good reason to go higher, especially once we get some news from the Fed. All right, and my immediate target would be this swing high. That would be the buy side liquidity target. And we have this swing high up here, which is also the longer term target. All right. So if we see price come down into the bullish fair value gap, I'm looking for price to find support there and go higher. New Zealand dollar. Let's go all the way over to the weekly. All right. You can see that we had a breakout of this structure here. All right. Price traded through it to the high. It didn't just wick through it. All right, it traded through, closing above. We have an open and close above that high. All right, that means higher prices. Of course, it created a weekly fair value gap. Price traded into the weekly fair value gap. Did not disrespect it. All right, the weekly fair value gap. You understand? And you see this reaction here. Now, if we go down to the daily, you can see that Price is bouncing off of a daily fair value gap here. You see how it pushed hard on Thursday. Friday was a bit of a down day, but it came back into test the base of this, the engulfment. All right. And what do I expect? Do I expect price to come back down further? Yeah, there's some room for it to come down. Let me get something. All right. There's some room for it to come down, but maybe not further than the middle of this wick. All right. Maybe that. But if we do come down to take this low, all right, you see, we just tapped this bullish fair value gap. We come down to take that low. I'm looking for price to continue higher. We may continue higher from here. That's like I said, only if it decides to come back lower because of Monday and Tuesday. But Wednesday, I believe we're going to shoot on up. We may shoot up from here, which would be cool. All right, we may shoot up from here, but uh, a pullback, is a natural thing to happen. So I think we may tap into this and then go higher. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. US dollar CAD, uh, you can see where that low is where we'll find the weekly fair value gap. All right, prices uh, came back in that weekly fair value gap. It's held up here, right at the consummate encroachment, the midpoint of the weekly fair value gap. I'm looking for price to turn around. That's right. It's that easy. It's that simple to me. All right. I'm going to change this to a weekly uh, bullish fair value gap, and we go to the daily, and you can see prices, uh, finding hesitation here. All right. What does that mean? There's some support. That's all it is. There's a bullish fair value gap right there. If I can do it quickly, thank you. All right, there's a bullish fair value gap there, and a bigger one right directly below it on the daily time frame. So you see how it's found some push. All right, it's found that support there. But if price does intend on coming back down, because we again, just remember we are inside of a weekly fair value gap. I'm looking for that daily to find look for the market to find support within this. All right, we have two daily fair value gaps nested within the weekly fair value gap. I'm looking for price to push higher. That's it. Well, there's nothing magical, nothing super duper about it. All right, we have a bearish fair value gap to get by over here, but I believe once price starts to turn up, uh, we'll be taking that out, and this would be my draw on liquidity. Okay. All right. That's the CAD. All right. Swiss, same deal. You can see that we are in a bullish weekly fair value gap, and price is respecting that bullish weekly fair value gap. All right. And if we go to the daily, you can see that we have a fair value gap, daily fair value gap right there. All right. And you see price responded to it. Now, we had a very bearish ending to Friday, but we are still within the weekly, and we are on top of the bullish daily fair value gap. So we have two nested in each other. I'm looking for price to go up higher. That's it. Simple as that. All right. And quickly on the Japanese yen, bullish, bullish, bullish. All right. Bullish all the way. You're going to watch the BOJ and their decision, but this is one of the strongest markets, strongest currency out of all the currencies. All right. If we pull back, we're pulling back into a bullish fair value gap. Order block, and I would expect prices to go higher. Come on, man. All right. Now, thank you for watching this video. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll get back to you, I promise. All right, and subscribe. Thank you very much.